Baseball playoffs continue tonight with 2 NLDS games. The perfect time to head out to the Window Nation Fan Guest Hotline, where we're joined by Audacy MLB insider Tony Gwynn Jr. Insider calls presented by Grainger, with supplies and solutions for every industry. Grainger has the right product for you. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. And Tony, thank you as always for your time. We appreciate it. Before we get to what's going on now, you're part of Padres Radio, so you know that team better than anybody we talk to. You've had a little time to digest what went wrong for the Padres in the postseason.
I think the simple answer is the offense went wrong. You know, when you get to the postseason and you get to that time of year, your best players have to do their thing. And in the 2 games that the Padres lost, I think the top 3 guys in that lineup, Tatis, Arise, and Manny, they went hitless. And in the game they didn't, they starred in the 1 win. And so, I mean, I think it's pretty much that simple. I mean, there weren't a lot of runs scored in that game, but the Padres certainly weren't able to score enough runs, and that was kind of the case during the regular season as well.
Let's go to the Padres' arch rival, and the Phillies were able to win last night to keep that series alive, and it was a rough go of it for Clayton Kershaw, Tony. How unique is Clayton Kershaw's legacy, when he's done after this year? Because all of the success in the regular season, of course, he's got World Series now, but the postseason failures are hard to ignore.
Yeah, they are. But, I think legacies are built in a couple different ways, right? You have guys who have rather pedestrian numbers during the season and are renowned because of what they do during the postseason. I think, and then you have a set of guys that have put together just a tremendous body of work over a long stretch of time. And I think when you do that, it kind of softens what's happening in the postseason. I know we are in such a hyper kind of visual and what have you done for me lately world, but I don't think Clayton's his resume is you can't really approach it. I mean, there's so many things that he's done throughout the course of his career that, yes, the postseason hasn't gone maybe the way that I think we'd all like it have gone in order to fit that kind of perfect narrative. But his body of work is incredible, and I think that's what people will remember most.
Were you surprised they made him kind of wear it the way he did? And were you surprised they were as quick to get Yamamoto out of there, given the vast underbelly of this bullpen?
I think based on the success they had last year, it doesn't surprise me, right? I mean, their bullpen was atrocious going into the 2024 postseason. And then they got on a heater, and I witnessed it firsthand and watched them ride like unbelievably all the way to a championship season on a bullpen that had been virtually the same way this bullpen was. And so I think when you get into those situations, the analytics will tell you one thing, but your gut, your memory, I think all of that kind of gets mixed into the pot. And so, I was a little surprised, though, that, it did seem like Kirsch had to wear it a little bit. But I also, having played with him, I wouldn't be surprised if he was up for it.
Talking with Tony Gwynn Jr., it's Inside Access here on the Fan. So the other series in the National League, Brewers and Cubs. Cubs win yesterday, so they're alive for another day. Do you still feel like the Brewers, this is their series to win? Do you think it ends tonight?
I do think it's their series to win. But I'm not gonna lie, the Brewers looked a little spooked in that building yesterday. Watching the Cubs kind of put it on them a little bit, and I haven't just spent the last 3 games there prior to this series. That place is incredible. It's one of the best places to witness a ball game. I think one of the best venues, and I think guys, get up to play in that ballpark. But the Cubs, I think they may have flipped this series, because I thought the Brewers had a chance to kind of knock them out with Taillon on the mound, and they fell victim to the same exact thing the Padres did facing him. He's so steady in terms of he's not going to come in. He's going to stay away. And if you are committed to hitting the ball the other way, you're going to have some success. But if you're going to try to pull him, you play right into his game plan. And really, after the first inning, there really wasn't a whole lot left for the Brewers. After the first couple innings, they really didn't do much after that. And I thought I saw the same thing that the Padres did against them in that Game 3 as I saw the Brewers do in their Game 3.
Tony, Yankees officially eliminated last night. The World Series drought goes on another year. They haven't won it all since 2009. What are they missing to get over the hump? And is Aaron Boone's job safe?
I think it should be. I think his job should be safe. I don't know that this is an Aaron Boone problem, quite frankly. You look at the construction of the roster, it's uneven. It's very top-heavy. You saw some of the same things that reared its ugly head in 24 kind of do it again last night. The defense side of the baseball always tends to come back and bite them. I don't know that they're that far off, though. It's uneven. I think a few tweaks in their lineup to kind of get some guys that are a little bit different, I think could go a long way. I thought Judge performed incredibly when the time mattered most. And so, listen, I think the Yankees, although they come up short, they're still right there. They're not far off at all. I think a few tweaks to that roster, and they could be a team that could win a few in a row with the right tweaks.
Quite an interesting turn of events in this Tiger series. Now Skubal, the Pacific Northwest kid, gets to go back there. I'm not sure Polanco's going to hit 2 homers off him this time around.
Right.
I would not bet on that happening. And we saw the Tigers' bats break out in a way that we really haven't. I feel like for quite some time, the drubbing that they put on the Mariners bullpen yesterday. How do you handicap that one?
I think it's still in Seattle's favor, especially going back to Seattle. I mean, we saw how quiet Detroit's bats were in that building, and that's not all that unfamiliar. I mean, that place is not the place that offenses go to thrive in most cases. But listen, the other thing I think people may be forgetting, especially with Tariq on the mound, the Mariners have faced him 3 times this year, and they've put up runs in each of those 3 times.
Yeah.
They have found a way to get to him, unlike pretty much anybody else in the league. So the question is, can they do it a 4th time? I would bet on it. I think they're going to get enough, and I don't think the Detroit offense is going to look like it looked in the game the other day.
Tony, the Blue Jays are awaiting the winner of this series. Do you like the Blue Jays to go to the World Series no matter who they play? What do you think of this Blue Jays team?
I like the Blue Jays team. I really do. Going to Toronto early this year kind of opened my eyes to them. And at that point, they weren't playing offensively the way that they're playing right now. I just think Vlad is the guy right now. It just seems like everything he does since the postseason has started has been dynamite. And so you get a guy who's swinging a bat that well. You got a bunch of young guys who hadn't been there that seemingly play the game the way the scoreboard is calling. And I don't know that that's you see that very often for some guys that don't have the experience. But I just like the way they're playing. I like the way they're pitching. And they just seem like a team with a bunch of confidence right now. Those are the most dangerous teams.
Tony, how cool would it be to just get a fresh team from the American League in the World Series? Blue Jays and Tigers haven't won it all in forever. Mariners have never been to a World Series.
I think that's what makes our game so incredible, right? I mean, despite there being some of the same names year in and year out, there also is some new teams a lot of times year in and year out. And I think some new blood. I certainly would love to see a Blue Jays get in there. I wouldn't mind seeing the Mariners try to get their first World Series title. I know people in San Diego don't want to hear me say that because that leaves us one less team that haven't won one. But I like seeing the new teams. I certainly wouldn't mind seeing an all West Coast. I know it might suck for you guys out that way because you guys have to stay up pretty late to watch the games. But I like when we get some new blood in there every once in a while.
Tony Gwynn Jr., always great, man. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the playoffs.
You guys enjoy it as well. I'll talk to you guys next week.